Oh, good kiss. Yeah. Was that tasty? Oh, goodness. You're a silly puppers. Shake, shake, shake. Good boy. All right. So, hey guys, I'm Becky. Welcome back to my channel. So today is just a quick personal update for the month of August for me. And August was a complete roller coaster emotionally and my personal and work life. It was just all over the place. I actually, with COVID surging where we're at, I live in Idaho, so our COVID numbers are surging right now. And it really has had a dramatic increase on my workload on my day job. And I essentially came back from my 3 days of vacation this summer to more basically work for me and contact from the big boss, and there was no space for me to have a personal life is what it kind of felt like. And so on the 2nd of August, I actually submitted a 4-week resignation notice with my day job, and needless to say, it went over just about as well as I was expecting it to. There wasn't a lot of conversations, there was no immediate phone call or talk about why or what they could do to get me to stay. It was simply like, to quote one of my bosses directly, their response was, "This makes me so sad." End of response. And well, I'm not actually too surprised. They called me 2 weeks after the fact, so on a Sunday morning, that same boss called me on my cell. She was like, did I wake you up? And I was like, no, I'm working, you know, on my day job, my 9 to 5, Monday through Friday on a Sunday morning. And they asked me to stay on full-time for 2 more months. They offered a retention bonus, and it gave me 24 hours to determine what I was going to do with that. And then I got an email from the big boss later that day asking me to stay as well. And I thought about it, thought long and hard, had some phone calls with family, and decided that I could not stay on 2 more months full-time with them, and countered their offer and offered 20 hours a week for those 2 months. So they verbally accepted it. We are now into the beginning of September, and nothing is in writing, nothing has changed on my status except for I'm unofficially working 20 hours a week in my same job, to be quite honest. So to be quite honest, I am scared. It's not of losing my job, not of going through that transition of what that might look like, but as far as myself, this is a huge risk that I'm taking. And I know that I've seen growth. I've seen where this website and the podcast that I want to start and my photography, it's all growing. It's all expanding. It's just, is it going to expand in the time frame that I think it's going to, or is it going to take longer? Am I going to potentially put myself at risk if this does fail for not being able to get a job back in HR, which is, you know, my bread and butter of what I've trained to do, but I'm not sure I want to anyways. So worst case scenario, I will fail miserably at this and will go flip burgers at McDonald's for $15 an hour. But that's not too bad, because I can survive on 40 hours a week at $15 an hour, so that's not too bad. This isn't just like a spur of the moment type thing. It wasn't an emotional decision to do this. I actually gave myself a week from when I was like, okay, like this needs to happen before I actually put in my notice. And I have been thinking about this for quite a long time, even before I transitioned into my current day job, in my old jobs there. And it just kind of all came to a head, especially with the things going on earlier this spring and the lack of communication essentially and trust that I have for them, that it became simply this was the only option that I could think of. And so I have, thank you, hi. So I have 6 months saved up expenses to cover everything that I need to. Plus I have my Lime scooters that, you know, even though I didn't do any in August because of work constraints and whatnot, I still have the ability to earn enough money. I still have the capacity to earn enough money with that to cover my expenses. So I've got 2 months of part-time work, which will cover everything I need, then 6 months built up, plus the Lime scooter. So I have 6 months saved up in my emergency fallback fund, and then another, so essentially I'm going to be working for 2 months part-time, which is going to cover my expenses. Then I have a 6-month safety net of money that I can use to pay off any expenses that I have. Plus I have the Lime scooters that I can earn money on. I've been approved to do dog sitting, dog walking, all those things for pets. And I have been approved on Fiverr, I think it's Fiverr, where I can essentially take odd jobs here and there, looking at resumes, answering questions, like going through mock interviews, types of those types of situations. So I've got, you know, multiple streams of, you know, gig income, nothing like concrete, but good enough income that I could do what I needed to do to get by. Plus I'm still earning money on my photography. I have seen sales for 6 of the last 7 months, and that's selling prints or selling stock photography. I mean, I almost sold a print for $90, so we're seeing growth in that area as well. So I have a safety net. My biggest issue that I'm running into right now is time. And time to put into where I see this, because I see it in my head and I see long term where I'm headed with it, and the problem is I don't have enough time. If I'm working, you know, 70 to 80 hours a week on my day job, I don't have enough time to jump in and do what I want to do with this. And so I figured with everything and where is that and the numbers that I'm seeing and my thought process is, my plan is that this is the right move for me to jump and essentially take that risk, that calculated risk, and give it everything that I have and try and make it work. I've talked to numerous people about this, and now that my notice has been put out and I've actually transitioned to part-time, I've had conversations with people where literally today someone was like, I wish I could do that. I wish I could transition away. A lot of people are in their 40s or 50s and they're just so set in their job that they miss their chance. And so I think this is my time to really give it a fair shot and go all in. And I think the best part of it is that you all get to come along for the ride, whatever that might look like, even if it means I end up at McDonald's. So, whew, here we go. As far as updates for my stock portfolio, I'm gonna keep it pretty simple this month. I did not invest anything. I didn't buy any stock. I just kind of let it sit and just come in what it may. So my stock portfolio has grown to just under $29,300. So we've had a big jump in just market value with that. And then my lending club balance is decreasing, as we know it will. It's down to just over $400. So in total, I'm just about $29,700. So not too shabby. We're getting close to that $30,000 mark on that stock portfolio. Might see that by the end of the year, maybe even 2 months. All in all, I made $70.84 in dividend returns just from my stock portfolio. You can see I made some of the big earners are that is from Apple, which is a good return on that one, and then EFC as well, and then JP Morgan, and then of course T. Those are my big breadwinners. Most of those are long-term holds that I'm holding on to in my portfolio, but feel free to take a look at any of these stocks. If they're in my portfolio, I see some potential in them. So the rest of this video is just basically me taking a moment to take you through some of the things that I'm doing with my house. I've had some requests for various videos that people want me to make. Some of it is just answering questions, others has to do with basically projects that I'm working on at my house and trying to fix it up, and so here you go. And then for my absolute next project is actually going to be working on my gym, and you can clearly tell it's halfway painted-ish. We've been working on the ceiling because it's an ugly yellow. We got this wall up there, so we got my breakdown. I'm an Eagles fan, get over it. But essentially, we've been putting a little bit of work into here, but the idea is that I will paint this all white. I'll get that mirror hung up there, get the ceiling painted actual white again, and then I'll have this set up ready to go. Essentially right here, you can see I've got some dumbbells and such on the floor. I've got a wooden thing, we're going to call it a thing, that's going to go right here that's going to act as a dumbbell rack essentially, and put my stereo on there and do all of that. This will all remain the same, it'll just be white. Hopefully I'll get some good flooring in here. These are my weights. I've actually got these for a super good deal. Created the wood boxes myself and then painted over the weights so they all match, so the same color. And then my beloved rowing machine that I absolutely love. It's fantastic. It's going to stay right here. That way I can look at Arnold and remember him every single time that I row. So yeah, this is my next big project. What do you think, Jackson? Doable? Yep. And this is the front yard. And it's very dead. We've been fighting the green vine. Some rose bushes in there. But then we have the stump, which is a real problem. And all of these that I have to put to work. Because it's a really big stump. And then, to answer your question of why I did not do any lime skeeters this month, we have this guy right here. So this is the newest addition to my house, to my trick. Got this for free, $0, which is fantastic. We've got some weather stripping issues right here. We're gonna have to work on that. Windows don't have screens on them at all. And the back canopy does not have a lock on it. By that I mean it does not lock up, and so it will fall down. But essentially, this is what it looks like right now. It's pretty dirty, grungy. This metal bar fell off completely. I think they welded it on for something important, but that'll come off. Do some cleanup on it. Ooh, dog food. Forgot about that. And this will eventually be, hopefully, a built-out mini RV in the back of my truck. So here we have the greenhouse and a hole. And then this was the dog run, chicken coop mess that is a little bit dirty. That's got to get mucked out. And then I've been working on the fire wood stash that I have. And so we got these wood pallets here. And I'm kind of stacking some wood that I took out on the trip. And then a little kindling here. And with the mint bush, which is gonna stay. And a hole in the fence that is gonna be fixed. And originally I wasn't sure if I was gonna have this stay, but it is absolutely bee heaven. There are literally probably 100 bees on this right now that are just flying around and feeding, and so it's gonna stay. They just kind of do their thing. And then we've got these guys that are essentially all along the fence line. They're just added on even on the other side of the house. And so these are all going to come off here. But mint is going to stay. The bees are going to be happy. And then this is my fire pit. I put this together with bricks and stuff from the front of the house, and it is about 3 feet wide with a really good depth to it and good width to it. So I'm excited to potentially do some things with this in the future. Have a lot of people. And then we've got this pole right here. It's from the satellite that was here, and I have to dig it out of the ground. It's in there pretty deep, and it's still on my to-do list. Hi, Jackson. And then we got some holes that need to be filled along the fence line, and then all this stuff that's going to come out. And I don't know if you can see this, but I've got power lines that run through my yard. Both of these guys do. And they're getting really close to this tree, to the fact that the tree line is almost touching them, and it is touching them. It's growing through the tree there, so we're gonna have some serious pruning to do. And then this corner is gonna be a future project. We can see that when they put this gate up, they attached it directly to my house. Not the happiest about that. And we've got a huge apple tree that is growing over my house and over my neighbor's house. And then, you okay, Jackson? Yeah, you eat some grass? Good stool. So, we've had this black tarping in here, and I've been slowly getting rid of sections of it. It's a little intimidating for me. It's very spider infested. We've got a lot of spiders in here, and down here's all spiders, and the corner is all spidery, and freaks me out a little bit. So I've been slowly working my way through that. This stuff right here is actually going to get cleaned out, and my brother lives in eastern side of Idaho, has a little farm, and he's going to take this and put this to use, but I have to get in there and clean it out, and it's clearly also infested with spiders, if you can't tell, so I'm looking forward to that. Not at all. And then as far as the yard goes, it's a work in progress. We've got some patchiness here, rocks everywhere. Let me show you. We've got rocks from Jackson everywhere. And then rocks that they left everywhere. And like this one right here, there's no way that I can move this sucker by myself. I mean, it's a huge rock. And they put them all along underneath right here. And so they just cover the entire deck. And then the apple tree right here, we need to do some major pruning for these low branches. This will happen next spring. It seems like they didn't really do any pruning for, I don't know, 7 years is my guess. And then the big cherry tree that I've been pruning pretty heavily that goes up there. This is the greenhouse. It is a little bit old, a little bit used, a little bit abused, I think. Neglected for sure. It's missing some stuff up there. It flaps in the wind every year. And I haven't touched this at all. So let me show you what's like inside. I've been really careful with Jackson because I know it's pretty bad in there. The door doesn't even close all the way. Can't lock it. It's gaps at the bottom. But this is what it looks like on the inside. And I think we've stolen a bag of soil out of here so far. But that's about it. We've got all types of goodies in here. And some dog poo. That's fantastic. But yeah, it's got some holes on the roof, some board that's not really put together yet, and then essentially shelving that goes down to the bottom. And we've got rocks for days because we need rocks, and pits over here, spiders everywhere, lots of toys to play with, lots of things to bite you, to eat you, to dangle down and tickle you. But yeah, he's going through a little bit, but it has a ton of potential. I just have to actually get in here and put some work in on it. That's the greenhouse. It is alright. It runs pretty good. Seems to be pretty sturdy. The flooring of it is not exactly the best. We've got some decay going on. Lots of spiders. But yeah, let me show you if we can, if it's not. But we've got the floor. So we've got the floor that's gapped over here. And pardon me, I got some friends stuff in here. My handy dandy wheelbarrow that I got for I think $20. The ladder that I got. The tires actually came with the house, as well as this hammock thing, and some of the stuff up there in the top shelf. But this is very much spider infested. Just about everything is, it feels like, and some wasp nests. And then we've got a hole. We've got a very dead tree that needs to come out here. That'll be on the list. And then we've got all this crap that they left that needs to be cleaned up. Looks like a door. What is that? A closet door. And then this actually opens up. Is falling apart and very much spider infested. Very much oil, hazardous waste. But this is the back of my shed that has holes directly to my neighbors. So we keep this closed pretty tight. I don't want Jackson in there. And then my rock bucket. Because I collect rocks from this guy dragging them around the yard. So one of the things that I've been working on is fixing up my shed. Essentially it was this pigsty of a mess. I've cleaned it out, part of it, and started to organize my tools and everything in there. There's lots of stuff to go with that, but that's where we're at. Of course, my deck, the old together. I actually stepped through and broke this piece right here. So that'll be something that needs to be fixed. But right now my idea is to take this out and then put a patio on, because it's a huge deck. I mean, it's a huge deck. It just goes on for forever. And it's starting to break apart here. We got this one here fully detached, and then this guy right here is completely broken in. And then that guy's broken. And of course my gutter. When I bought the house, they left a ton of garbage. They left essentially the swing, they left the whole bed, they left tires, they left garbage. Just, it was a mess. It was a disgusting house to walk into. So I put in quite a lot of work on cleaning it and trying to get it where it needs to be, but there is so much work left to do. So it's gonna take me years to get this place in running order. But guys, thanks for tuning in. It's a brief update for August. It's a roller coaster month for me heading into September. I plan on diving really deep into setting up more structured posts with this, because I've been lacking on that. And then also working on starting the podcast, getting that set up, and getting that hopefully started by October. That was my goal originally when I wasn't going to work part-time. And that I'm planning to do probably Tuesdays. I'm going to try for every 2 weeks and bring in somebody and basically have them just talk about what they do and how they got there and why they like it and why they don't, and kind of share that with y'all. And then as far as photography, I need to work on my calendars. I want to get those out by October. Those are usually the month that they start integrating into the stores and people start purchasing them. I know I do, so I need to get that finalized and set up and ready to do basically a fall sale of that. And I expect some pretty high numbers with that, fingers crossed anyways. So that's what I'm looking forward to. Hopefully spending some more time with family, getting some fall canning, candies, hang out, all the good stuff. So I will see you all next time. Hope you have a fantastic September.